but some of them use them in different ways, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Go for it, Will.
So yeah, the basic idea is every class will have 3 base attacks and 3 special attacks. Um, and the way the special attacks are handled is different per character right now. So the Raider has a cooldown where basically you charge up your sword, you use your base attack buttons to do a special move, and then you have a 7-second cooldown before you can use it again. Whereas the Drunkard actually has a hold to charge mechanic. So like your left click slash, you actually hold it down, his hammer starts to glow, and then when you release, you do your special move. So we're playing with having different charge up mechanics per character, but the base way you attack and defend is the same control scheme per character. It's just they do very different things.
Yeah, 3 basic attacks, 3 special attacks, a secondary attack for each character, and a defense mechanism for each character. So Raider and Drunkard can block, Scoundrel can dodge.
Yeah, and Huntress will probably have a dodge as well.
They want to know about price. I'm thinking $59.99.
Price. So
Is it way too early?
$15 a month.
$15 a month. That sounds like a good idea.
So we're gonna have like sort of a set price for early access. We don't know what that's gonna be yet, and it's probably gonna depend on how much content does get into that build. Beyond that, we're not sure. Like we're really just focused on making the game and figuring out exactly how we want to price it or monetize it later. I mean, one thing we definitely want to do is allow people to customize their characters, similar to like a Dota 2 or CS:GO type of style, where it's stuff if you want to, you can pay for to make your character look a different way, but doesn't affect gameplay. So we're staying away from anything that you would pay for that would affect gameplay. It's mostly just for cosmetic type stuff.
This week is the first week that I have sold all sorts of TF2 items on Steam.
Oh, nice. Have you made any decent money from it, or just pennies?
I made like $20 selling items. I was crazy. I didn't realize that people did that. I mean, actually, DB does a lot of that stuff. I had no idea that was such a big thing.
Steam is pretty amazing as far as the economy that they allow you to participate in, and we're on Steam now with development, and we're planning to be on Steam. Obviously, if we're going to go early access. And we would like to participate in that economy as well. We think it's super interesting, and if possible down the road, allow people to make stuff and put it up on the market as well, because we're a tiny team and there's probably a million cool things that people could make or think of that we wouldn't. So we really, really like that stuff. And like I said, looking at CS:GO or Dota 2 or Team Fortress 2, those are all good examples of, I think, doing that type of stuff the right way. I think the most I ever made on Steam was, I think I sold a CS:GO skin for like $30 once. Pretty amazing.
I know some of the guys on Twitter I sent out some tweet regarding, and a couple of guys said, one guy said that he had done, had a couple things, I guess was for €200, €200 or €300, which is...
Oh, wow.
400 or 500 American.
Yeah, man. Valve has that whole, like, hat and rainbow gun economy. I don't even know, like hats and keys, and they have a whole complicated gray market system that probably makes more money than most small countries do per year.
Oh, okay. They want to know about modding support. Is that going to be a thing?
I would like it to be.
Yeah.
It's more of how many resources do we have to get that going? I mean, we're using Unreal Engine 4, so it should be reasonably doable to support it, because the engine is obviously already out there. So the question is figuring out all the pieces of how to let people get their content in, make it make sense with the game. But it's a goal. It's a stretch goal for us, but it's definitely a goal that we have. A lot of the guys on the team have participated in the modding community, or done projects through that stuff. So
Yeah, a lot of us got started that way, so we're definitely
yeah,
big supporters of it. It's just it takes a lot of resources to get it cleaned up in a way that it's easy for people to make good content where it contributes to the community. So we definitely want to make sure we make a good game first.
How many maps and what are the game types you guys are looking at?
so we'd like to get 4 maps in for early access. We'll have another one that we can hop into after this match is up. That's kind of fun to play around with. It's probably even less as far along in art style, but it has a interesting game mechanic that we like a lot. So we'll hop into that one next. Actually, let me do that now. Wrapped up. Far as game modes, so throughout development, we've actually experimented with a lot of different game modes. So we had like a payload type of game mode a domination type, control point. Basically any kind of reasonably popular multiplayer PC game mode you can think of, we've implemented and experimented with. Ultimately, though, when it came down to packs and showing the game, we felt like the combat is what shines, and so we made a really simple sort of last team standing arena style play mode, which is what we're playing now, where each team squares off in rounds and doesn't respawn until one or the other team wins the round. We're kind of we actually have some other stuff that we're playing around with right now that we could show, which is more stock based mode. Kind of like think of Smash Brothers, where your whole team has like tickets or stock, like a set number of lives that you can spend and you respawn instantly. Playing around a bit with that, we could show it off. The problem with that mode, with these maps, the way that they're built, is that it's really easy to spawn camp. If one team is kind of rocking the other team, then they can just sort of spawn camp and like throw items in there and really like troll them a lot. So that's a problem we'd have to solve if we went for that style. But this map's kind of fun because it basically gets smaller. You can see all the bodies get lifted up when the rocks pop back up.
Are the rocks coming back, or are they just dropping off? Do they go down?
So they drop from the outside in.
Yeah, and they come back up.
Okay. What's the other thing? Oh, are there going to be stealth mechanics?
More than likely, not straight up stealth. It's really difficult to balance that. What we're talking about doing with the scoundrel is like an illusion-based ability. So if you think like Wukong from League of Legends, where you can create a duplicate of yourself that other players see, but it's actually just a fake you, and you're invisible for a very short duration to get away. We like that mechanic in League a lot because it has a ton of different uses. You can use it offensively, you can use it defensively, you can use it as a juke. You can pretend to do it and actually not even do the ability. So we like that because it gives you the feeling of having some stealth in the game without just the crazy straight up being invisible and sneaking behind people and rocking them with them having no idea where you are.
I know I am certainly a big proponent of killing as many people as possible with as little chance of retaliation.
Good for you. It's not good for anybody else.
Lots of spawn camping, shooting people from long distances where they can't possibly know they're being shot at. Stealth, certainly long durations of stealth.
User disconnected from your channel.
Consumables that kill everybody on the team.
Yeah. Large spammable AoE type attacks. Things like that I just think you guys should really think about stuff like that as, time goes on.
I think that stuff will happen even if we try and perfectly balance the game. People will figure out strategies that totally blow our minds and stuff we never thought of, That's going to be the fun part of early access, is getting this into players' hands seeing what crazy combinations they come up with.
Do you guys have anybody from Valve?
Not on the team, no.
They're a hard company to poach from.
Yeah, I think they have really low turnover. I actually have a brother-in-law that works there, and got to take a tour of that place once. It was pretty amazing.
I remember back in the day when at the Studio Rumble store, the TF2 stuff, we used to play with a lot of guys. I mean, we get in with back when Left 4 Dead was still being developed, we would play around with some of their guys. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Very competent individuals. But I remember the reason I'm bringing that up was I remember when Left 4 Dead was first dropped, they had gosh, there was something. People figured out that like you got to a certain section on one of the levels, and the option to like take this little elevator up and wait out a huge zombie invasion, or you could jump through a window. Or I'm sorry, and eventually you could jump through a window and you could open up a door that led through the rest of your party. Anyway, people figured out that like if you sat there and melee spammed this door for about 3 or 4 minutes, it eventually just like broke and gave out. And you could get past the entire scenario that they had. So, I mean, how do you prevent? I mean, it just doesn't. You never see that coming in a million years.
Yeah, games are never done. You just eventually stop working on them. Because like you never know what very complicated software that could do anything.
So is this what are you guys doing? Is this what you guys are doing right now? Like, is this the thing, or you guys do other stuff on the sides?
We're all working on this full time.
Gotcha. Oh Jesus.
Getting slaughtered.
Yeah, Blue's having a rough time.
Yeah, we need to look at some class balance or some player balance here.
Or some team balance.
I have too much Jundicators on my team, I think is the problem. Is Jundicate, are you on blue or red? Oh, you're on blue, that makes sense.
Yeah, the lighting in this map can make it hard to see the team color you're fighting against. That orange lighting.
I have to say, I don't think I'm pulling my own weight here.
What we're showing here is like definitely, like I was saying earlier, just really early type stuff. So it's gonna be a bit broken.
Metagame changes like in Dota 2, they implement updates that rebalance characters, and they change the meta with every update a little bit. I've never played much Dota 2.
I would anticipate we'll be updating balance for as long as we possibly can.
And I'm gonna do some skydiving.
Yeah, there's a fun issue in this map when you're in warm up. So the rocks kind of just randomly drop down. Warm up, and if you are a drunkard or anybody really, if you can get on a rock on its way back up, it'll launch you up, and drunkards can do like
a skydive belly flop,
like a skydive air attack belly flop from like 200 feet up in the air.
I like the sound of that. I'd like to see that.
Where's John D? He's good at doing it.
It's like the drunkard airstrike
Oh shit!
maneuver.
Yeah, here he goes.
Hold on, I'm killing him.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Oh, it's bugging me out.
Yeah, I'm like in the bottom of the map.
Let me see if I can get this one.
Ooh. Junior, you on blue?
Here we go.
Holy shit!
Where are you at?
Come
Waldo?
down yet?
I'm coming. Yeah, I'm right
Here
here.
he comes.
Floated up
Like-
high.
Went off prematurely.
Yeah.
That always seems to happen to you, Jundy.
Oh, I got stuck.
So what? Like you catch the rock as the rock is going back up or something?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just launches you.
Love
Kinda
it.
hard to time it. Yeah. Oops.
I think that it's not turning me invisible as that. The scoundrel or whatever when I'm sprinting, is it? He just gets real blurry.
Yeah, it's just a really bad post effect.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just showing that he's quickly.
We kind of want to use that for drunk vision.
Oh, you're talking about the sprint?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You shift? Yeah, I forgot about that.
It looks like he almost has a shield on or something.
Man, it actually got some. It changed. All right, I'm gonna start a match.
All right, let's do this. All right, I got my game.
We're all
face on.
drunkards on red.
Oh my god. Well,
The drunkard actually got a lot of changes since the last time we were showing the game. He's all his specials changed basically. So we kind of once we got done with that piece of him, we moved on to the scoundrel. But he's become this AOE monster now.
was that you, Badger, that was stuck? I know I just pounded somebody into oblivion that couldn't move.
Yep, that was me.
Okay. Is this like just a stunning attack? Oh, oh Jesus.
Oh.
There's a bug right now where the drunkard auto blocks all the scoundrel daggers, so that's what you're seeing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, how are you guys gonna combat friendly fire? Is it just gonna be something that's in there?
Yeah, we fully support friendly fire. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice in a melee game. It keeps people from just bunching up into a giant crowd and slashing each other without any tactics. Like you actually have to be aware of where your team is. We'll have to put in mechanics to kind of punish people that are doing it on purpose, like trolling their team.
Yeah.
But it definitely enhances combat a lot, having to think about those things. Some of our abilities, like the drunkard beer wave, don't actually don't affect teammates. It goes right through them. So we may do that with the more powerful attacks, like the specials. But the base attacks, it makes for interesting mechanics when
it helps
got to be aware of people around you.
Right. It helps reduce the gang up mentality because you have to be careful when you're, basically 2v1 is the most a battle can support without all the teammates hitting each other. So it gives the person who's at a disadvantage in numbers and a way to make it out of fights if they're good enough.
As a scoundrel, I died in the lava while holding shift, and now I'm permanently blurred. I can't.
Try changing character.
How do you do that? Is it N?
P.
P. Oh, will it do it on death?
Yeah, it should. When you spawn again, it should. Hopefully. Now I'm fighting you. Man, the drunkard uppercut, it's like such an obvious lift potential. Did that get it?
This character is blurred as well. That's alright.
Do tilde then reconnect.
You know what I'll do? I'll put us in a different map.
Squint your eyes also, and it'll make it feel better.
I'll just throw us into
I
map.
did the reconnect should work.
Oh, you did? Okay.
He found our secret drunk vision. Not implemented yet.
Yeah, we're talking about doing a drinking mechanic. We haven't been able to work on it yet, where drinking heals you but gets you drunk. So the more you drink in the game, the harder it becomes to control your character or see what's going on.
Yeah, I like that.
It gives you at least a way to get back some health, if you get into trouble.
Fuck Fuck yes. What is your percentage of artists to programmers?
Somebody with good math skills is gonna have to figure that one out.
We've got
Programmers, come on now.
We've got 2 engineers and 4 artists.
What do the other guys do?
I'm a designer on the team. Vince is a designer producer, and then we have David Wang, who's another designer, technical designer.
So when you say you're like a okay, so this is something that I know I have questions too, because I know that it changes based on the studio you're at.
Right.
But like, so if you're so do the designers, do you guys do coding and stuff, or is it more balancing, or what is that entail?
It totally depends on the studio, and there's many different types of designers. So big companies usually split it into two major branches. There's technical designers, and then there are level designers. Level designers are, basically the level architects. They build out the space, make the flow of the map, do a lot of the...
That was nice, Waldo.
Sorry, that was my bad. I was listening to him talk, and I was just pounding this guy's face in. I didn't know he was on my team.
They'll do a lot of the like level-based things. They tend to be like the person that integrates all the assets that everyone else does. The assets that the artists make, the tools that the programmers make. So it's kind of the where the tires hit the road. The technical designers tend to either be like hybrid programmer designers, where they script things. Like in a single player game, they're the ones that actually make the enemies come out at certain times and get behind cover, and how the AI interacts with the player. In a multiplayer game, they would do the game modes and setting up things like these traps or these pickup items. And then systems designers are the ones that handle things like combat mechanics, movement, camera, and that kind of thing. And on a small team like we have, everybody does a bit of everything. So we just go with the term designer because we touch all those different aspects. And in fact, even the artists and the engineers are really designers on our team. Everybody contributes to it.
yeah.
The game balance decisions, that doesn't come down, like, that's everybody's decision, or is that one guy or two guys?
It comes down to everybody yelling at each other, and then usually Will trying to filter that into something useful, and then implementing it.
Yeah, so basically the main way we do combat stuff is we come up with some idea of what we want a class to do. We do a first pass on it. It's usually horrendous and awful, and then we play it and complain about it until it gets fixed. And we try and tune it frequently to try to fix those problems. And it's in a melee game, it's interesting because the combat is so animation driven. So animation is a huge part of our design problem. Our animator James does a really good job of filtering what we need and coming up with animations that work for it. So like our hit detection is actually the swing matters. It's not just a big hit box volume in front of you.
Yeah.
Like the weapon actually makes contact with the character.
Line and capsule traces off of the exact animation that James made.
Yeah.
Are you guys looking for anybody else right now? I've seen this stuff on your website. Are you looking to grow bigger?
We are looking for a senior engineer. So if there's any...
I got a couple guys that are going into like game design school. What are the odds of you guys offering them a job?
Depends how awesome they are. We're always on the lookout for awesome people.
How willing are they to work for free? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in a phase where we're still just working on getting this to a state where it's sellable, where it feels good. If we were to get more financing, or if the game does well, we would look to grow a bit and bring on some people, because we have some great ideas for what we'd like to do that we just aren't really capable of right now due to size limitations more than anything. So just like any other industry gig, I would say if you're a designer, you're in school or whatever, like do stuff, make and then put it in a portfolio, put it on a website, get it out there, show it to people, do game jams, like just make shit because
Game jam.
a game jam is like a short period. It's a time boxed period of time to make a game. So a lot of times, like there's one going on right now called 7-Day First Person Shooter Jam, and so it's basically make a first person shooter in 7 days. A lot of them like
From
Ludum
scratch?
Yeah, from scratch. A lot of them are very short. Like Ludum Dare is one of the most popular ones, and that's a 48-hour game jam. And what they do is they say, okay, we're going to start it. It's going to go over a weekend, and then right when it starts, they give you the theme. You have to make a game in 48 hours based on or using the theme. So participating in that type of stuff is really good because one of the hardest things to do with any game, no matter what the size of it is, even if it's a tiny game, is actually finishing it and putting it out there. And just being able to do that, even with a complete piece of shit, is a skill that you need to hone and get good at, and actually, produce stuff that makes it there, and you'll get better at. So I'd recommend any student do that.
They're
Often as
spamming the
possible.
Game Jam website in chat, so I didn't even know such a thing existed.
I think
Yeah, that's cool.
another great thing if you're in school and there's a particular type of game you want to work on or a particular company, you should really gear your portfolio towards that, the types of games they make. Like if you want to work at Blizzard, I mean, there's pretty obvious examples of what you can do, and you can actually get access to their tool sets. I mean, StarCraft 2 has an editor,
Yep.
so you can make stuff for their game, and if you can make it as good as they can, then there's good potential that they'll look to hire you.
One of the guys on our team, Lil Man, he's playing right now, made a pretty popular StarCraft 2 mod called Nexus Wars.
I'm not a StarCraft fan, otherwise I'm sure I would have heard of it.
That's okay.
Well, Grax, from one of the guys who used to play with from Valve, said that I think he was one of the guys, but he said that they had hired multiple dudes who had put out community. He was one of the level designers. He said that they had hired on multiple guys that had gone in with their SDK and created user gen maps.
Valve
Yeah, that's for sure.
always does that. I mean, the TF2 team came from the community. The Portal team,
Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike, yeah.
Dota 2, I guess it's very...
Dota 2,
Yeah,
technically, if you count Ice Frog.
Robin Walker, right? The pretty much creative director over there at Valve, started
TF2.
Team Fortress was a mod for Quake 1, right?
Yeah.
I think the original was... Yeah, I think it
Quake
was
1.
Quake 1. Yeah, I think so. Alright, I'm going to change the map to
Okay.
dual map because it's going to be hilarious to have 5v5.